Oh snap, a super princess is on, aka Spencer. All right, guys. Um, First off, everybody's video's off, so I don't know if you guys can even hear me or not. Spencer, your video's on. Can you hear me, Spencer? Yeah, Ashley, cool. David, all right. There you go. Turn some videos on, man. I want to feel like I'm with people here, not just blank screens. Don't be shy. But guys, so I just want to help people as far as like their getting their first clients, and it doesn't. I titled it "Getting Your First 5 Clients," but it's not really, just about that. It's anyone that's really trying to get clients, right? And how we can help out with all of us, because we all need to always go and get our 5 clients a month, right? So whether it's someone brand new or whether it's a veteran that's been in this for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, right? We still got to always work on getting new clients. That's the name of the game, right? New solves all. And so, a lot of the basics as far as the inviting, right? We have there's so many different ways to do your invite. So when you want to get your clients, you need to know what you're doing to get a lead. All right, like what are you doing out there to pique people's interest in what we do and what we offer, right? And a lot of the times, it kind of happens naturally when people don't really know what they're doing, but they're getting clients because what's happening is they're getting results, right? That's how a lot of us got our first clients in the first place, is we got a result, right, with the products, and people started to notice, they start to ask, right? And that's how you get a lot of people into becoming clients. But what I really want to focus on is that part. So whether you're new or not, right, learning what to say to those people in the beginning, right, so that they actually convert into clients versus somebody who's just interested, right? But you still need to be doing something that piques people's interest, right? So one, getting a result is obviously going to pique people's interest. They're going to know, they're going to ask, they're going to wonder, they're going to be curious, right? So that's the first things first, right? Make sure you're taking the products, make sure that you're actually using the products and documenting your results with it, whether it's through photos, whether it's through weigh-ins, whether it's through, how clothes are fitting, it doesn't really matter, but just make sure you're documenting, whether it's more energy, right? Something that's exciting you and that you can share with people, whether they're going to notice it when they see you, or whether you post it on social media, or whether you walk around with a shaker cup, right, at work, something that's going to get people interested. And most of the time, that's probably the best way to do it. So one way is to always be branded, right? Use the products, right? Wear the button. So wear the button, wear the brand, right? One of the easiest ways for me, a lot of us still work, was to have a shaker cup or the water jug like David has right now, right? Having that with you guys is going to be one of the easiest way to get people interested, because everybody's nosy, right? People want to know, what are you drinking? What's in that cup? So, or having some kind of product on hand, whether it's during your breaks or at lunch or at home when people come and visit you, right? That's going to be an easy way for people to get interested. Wearing your button, right? Wearing your button is always important. This is a lose weight now, ask me how, right? This is probably the money maker. This is the one that gets most people attention, right? And so learning the button response is very important, right? Because a lot of people are scared to wear the button because they're scared of, like, what do I say to somebody that actually asked me about the button, right? So learning the button response is very important, right? And the only thing with the button response is just to put people in control. And there's simple questions. Somebody asks you, hey, well, how do I lose weight? The first question that we teach people to ask is like, well, are you serious, right? Because you don't want people wasting your time. So you want to ask, are you serious or are you curious? Right? What are your health goals? Okay, if they want to lose weight, gain weight, whatever. What have you tried before? Right? These are all simple questions, right, that are just going to help you keep control of the conversation and funnel it down to being able to ask for the number or give the invite to the presentation. So the biggest tip when it comes to inviting someone, right, is to make sure you separate it from your presentation, guys. I think a lot of us are making mistakes or used to make mistakes, or if it's not us, our new distributors right now are currently making the mistake of vomiting all over people that ask, what's Herbalife? Or how does it work? Or what are you doing? Right? A perfect example is, I have a few new distributors that are doing incredible. They have incredible results, but they're having trouble getting, a lot of clients. They've gotten a few now, but what they shared with me was like they were answering every question when someone would ask them. So sometimes we'll get somebody interested and they're like, well, what's Herbalife? And the first thing that you say, it's like, oh, it's awesome. It's like these shakes that I drink and it tastes super good, right? And it's been around for 36 years. And you start to basically give a presentation, right? And the new person, the person that's interested, they hear what you say, they hear your spill, and they think they know what Herbalife is now. Or they think they know what you're doing and how you're doing it, right? But you got to realize that if you start to answer the questions, if you start to say, oh, well, yeah, it's the Herbalife shakes and you take them twice a day and has this many vitamins and this many minerals, what ends up happening is you start to show them like a piece of the picture, right? And like, let's say you had a whole picture frame, but you just showed them the bottom corner. And they think they know the whole picture now. They don't know. They don't know anything. They don't know any better, right? It's based off whatever you tell them. So we got to get really good at separating the invitation to the presentation. Okay, separate the invitation to the presentation. Can anybody agree? Like, has anybody ever done that? I know I did that. Show of hands, right? If you always vomited or said too much in the beginning or answered too many questions.
I'm not going to lie. I accidentally said too much today.
Hey, you know what? It happens, Alyssa. Thank you for being honest.
I'm sitting there like, God damn it, Alyssa. But you know what? I'm not going to lie. I freaking love to talk. That's like one of my really bad habits. But you know what? Like, the more you put it out there, it's like, yeah, that makes sense. And there's some cases where I get better at it. Like, I start to it's basically asking questions. So I think that's where you're leading with it, is just always asking back in a question to get them to keep flowing out and just hearing what they're saying, because then you kind of triggers like those key words. But yeah, I get the excitement gets the better of me sometimes. And so, yeah, today I hella word vomited. So I'll be real, you guys, it happens. But yeah,
Thank you for being honest, Alyssa. I appreciate that.
No problem.
Hey, it happens to us all the time because we get excited, right? And you want to be excited for sure, okay? But if we can master the invite, right? Trust me, Alyssa, I love to talk too, man. I used to talk like crazy in the beginning. I still talk like crazy. Alyssa, you'd be a great trainer because then you get to talk the whole time. So you should probably train the next class, right? But that's our benefit, Alyssa. But in the beginning, when we're trying to get clients, we have to be smart with how much we share. And the moment you answer one question, boom, next question, next question, next question, and then it's nonstop, right? So we have to get really good at someone asking, if they ask a question like, what's Herbalife? Or what are you doing? Or, oh my God, I saw your results. Like, what do you take? How much does it cost? Or whatever question they ask, this is what I say. This is what I teach my distributors to say, especially new ones, right? I'm like, oh my God, it's incredible, right? Like, oh my God, I love it. Whatever it is, however you would naturally say it. And I make sure, like I tell my people, like, share however you would share. Don't share how I would share. Right? You want to be authentic in who you are with your excitement and how you come across. But essentially what you're going to say is like, man, like, it's incredible. This is what's happened. So you share your story, right? I've lost, 20 pounds and my energy shot up. I love it, right? But you want to keep control of the conversation. So where the button response comes in handy there, because you could ask like, well, what are your goals? Right? So here's something cool you can write down if you have a pen and notepad, or Alyssa, something to think about. The answer to any situation is always a question. The answer is a question. So if someone's asking you stuff, like, you need to respond with the question. Well, how much, like how does that work? Like, well, what is your goal? You know what I mean? Well, how much does that stuff cost? Well, it depends on what you want. What's your goal? You know what I mean? You could always answer stuff with a question so that you start controlling the combo, right? And so if someone were to ask me, like, well, how does the Herbalife stuff work? I'm like, dude, it works great. Then I share my story. I lost this much weight. Oh my God, I feel good. What are you trying to accomplish? Right? What's your goal? Oh, I want to lose weight. Great. Hey, well, if you're serious, let's sit down, right? Let's sit down. Let's set up a time to sit down so I can, sample you some of the stuff, and I'll answer all your questions. That's my go-to line. Uh-oh. Oh, I got disconnected. Can you guys hear me now? Sorry, guys. I thought I pushed the button. All right.
Yeah, I can hear you.
My bad. I lost you guys for a little bit. I was like, damn. Oh well. All right. So what I was saying was, my go-to line is like, okay, hey, well, if you're serious, let's set up a time to sit down. I'll sample you some stuff, and I'll answer all your questions. Now, if you're new and you don't have and you're still not confident to sit down with someone by yourself, this is what you can say. Okay, great. Well, if you're serious, let's sit down with my coach, so he or she can sample you some stuff and answer all your questions for you. Right? That's what you got to say. Right? Or let's set up a call with my coach. If you're out of town, let's set up a call with my coach so he can answer all your questions for you. Whatever. Right? You can do it through phone. You can do it in person. You can do it at someone's house, at the club, wherever you want. But that's my go-to. That's where you're going to get that person who's interested. And one, you're going to find out if they're really interested to actually commit to saying, okay, that sounds good. Here's my number or whatever. Or, you know what? No, I'm okay. I'm not that serious. Okay, great. Now you know not to waste your time. Right? But that's the little transition that you gotta use moving forward. So if someone's asking you questions, right, answer with the question, and then close them with, well, if you're serious, let's sit down so I can sample you some stuff and answer all your questions. And I usually will shut them up there and like, oh, okay, they'll answer my questions when we meet up, right? Because the goal, guys, is anyone that shows interest, right? And this is, whether you're posting on social media. Who here posts on social media? Right? How many of you guys have ever posted a before and after, or something that's happening, an event, right? A fit camp. You're promoting something, I hope. Everyone should have at least 3 ways to create leads, right? And there's plenty of options, guys. You could post on social media, right? You could wear your button and go out and talk to people, right? You could do invites to fit camp. You could do invites to a nutrition club. You could do shake parties every week. You could do a weight loss challenge every 6 weeks, right? You could do those online challenges that are happening now. The breakfast challenge is on right now, thanks to Tia and Augie. And the ab challenge is ending pretty soon. Right? There's going to be a couple other challenges. There's so many things you can do to create momentum, to create leads, to get people interested in what we offer and what we got. The question is, like, are you doing any of it? Right? Or are you only doing one? Right? That's where the difference is going to be. Like, are you only doing one and kind of half-assing it? Like, oh, I kind of post on social media, or I kind of do invites to the club, or sometimes I'll post a before and after, or sometimes I wear the button, or sometimes I invite to a fit camp. Like that, you know what I mean? Like that's, if you sometimes do something, you're sometimes going to get results, and sometimes get people interested in what we do. So I think the biggest key for us to get our clients, guys, is being consistent in whatever you choose to do. And 3 things is really what you want to focus on. 3 methods. A lot of us here tend to have, social media. So whether it's Instagram or Facebook. So, hey, you know what? If that's one tool that you want to use, get good at using it. Read some articles on it. Learn how it works. What's best? Facebook Live is the best way to do it, apparently, is to get people attracted to what we do and who you are, right? And one tip with social media is be you. Be yourself. Be authentic, right? be yourself, be authentic. No one really wants to follow and constantly see just salesy stuff all day, right? Like you got to be you. You know, you're a human being first, like Aaron Jones says. You're a human first, and then there's Herbalife, right? So it's who you are as a person that you want to really share on your social media account, and by who you are as a person, they will be attracted to you and see, man, this person's happy. Man, she's so happy. She's always smiling, and he's always happy, right? Doing what they love. God, they work out and they live in this active lifestyle. Like, what's it like? What do they do? So they're going to be attracted to you as a person, and then they're going to wonder, like, what do you do? Like, what's this Herbalife stuff? Why do you always post about it? Why do I always see it in your hand? You know, that's how it works. So be very conscious of that when you're using social media as a tool, right? When you're doing your like flyers or shake parties, anything works, guys. Anything works, right? So as you're doing that to create leads and get people interested, as soon as they ask you, boom, you use that line. Okay, well, hey, if you're serious, let's sit down so I can answer all your questions for you. And then you get to the presentation. And the presentation, guys, like, I'm honestly now moving to the brochure, because what I've realized is, like, we have a nutrition club, which I'm super grateful and blessed for, but not everybody has a nutrition club, right? And the way I use the nutrition club, like, is awesome because of the way we have it set up, but everyone can get a brochure and do a presentation from the brochure, right? So for the presentation, just know that all it is you're making sure that they're going to get some facts about the company, right, which is in the nutrition club or in the brochure, and they're going to hear some stories, and then they're going to get some samples. Like, sample is probably the most important part of the presentation. Man, the moment you try a tea, the moment you try a shake, like, people are jacked up. You guys remember when you guys tried your first tea or your first shake, like how you felt, right? Like, dude, this shake's good for me. I literally today had 3 walk-ins come into the club, brand new people, having no idea, sampled them the smoothie, and they're like, this is bomb. Like, this tastes good, right? Like, and we forget. I think we get spoiled. I think sometimes that we forget how good this stuff is, so we get to drink it every day, 3-4 times a day sometimes, right? So sampling is key. If you guys want to get a bunch of clients, like, don't be cheap with your samples. Like, a lot of you guys still work, you know, a lot of you guys still have a job. Man, my business took off because I would not just walk in with the shaker cup, but as soon as they asked me what I was drinking, I would give it to them. I would sample them. So sampling is key. Next thing you knew, I had like 20 people at Costco walking around with shaker cups. And they're like, what the hell is this thing? Why does everybody have Herbalife shaker cups out here? Right? It just spreads like that. So it wasn't just walking around and then answering a few questions. It was also like, hey, I'm not stingy. Like, I understand if I sample you the tea, you're gonna feel something, right? If I sample you a shake, you're gonna taste how good it is, right? So whatever it is that you personally like or that you're willing to sample, like, sample. Don't be stingy with sampling. Right, I promise you that's how you're going to get a lot of clients interested, right? And the tea is usually the best way to get people interested into what we do. That's what I call it, the gateway drug. But yeah, tea's awesome. Liftoffs are kind of a little bit more expensive, but if you can afford it, you can sample those. You know, but they also sell packets, guys, that are sample packets of the teas and the total control, where they come like in little packets. Those are great to have for you at work or whatever, to hand off as samples. You know, having the brochures on you are great, right? People are interested. Setting up your website is super important, right? You be more professional. Herbalife takes care of it for you. Most people are online nowadays, right? So it's like, yeah, go check out my website. You know, look at all the products that we have. You know, so you just got to tool up, essentially, setting yourself up for success when it comes to starting your business and getting your first couple clients, all right? But that's basically what it comes down to, guys, is you have to have some kind of way that you're creating leads, right? Getting people interested. So, like I said, there's so many ways. You got the button, shake parties, social media, nutrition club, fit camps. There's all these things that are available for you. Pick 3 and really do it, right? Really do it. Be consistent with what you're doing. Don't just kind of do it. Worst of all, only pick one and kind of do one. Don't do that. And then expect why you're not getting clients, or why aren't people hitting me up, or why aren't people getting, like, it just doesn't work like that, right? So know what you're doing to get your leads, right, to get people interested, and then become master at inviting them to the presentation. So your wording. Hey, you're serious? Okay, great. When are you free to sit down so I can sample you some stuff and answer all your questions? That's the line. That's the line that I use all the time to get people to sit down with me, right? And whether it's they meet me at the nutrition club, or whether I go to their house, right? Hey, no problem. I can go to your house. I'll bring some samples of shake and tea. You know, let's do it. No problem, right? Or meet them at a Starbucks. I don't care. It's up to you, right? Or they come to your house. It's up to you. Right, and then once they get to the presentation, when you sit down with them, all you're doing is you're going to share a few facts, right? You're going to sample them some products, sample them a shake and a tea, right? You're going to share your story, maybe a few other people's stories that you have, remembered, and then really just, solve their problem, answer what they want. That's one of the biggest things, is making sure that you're giving them what they want. If someone's there to lose weight, and you're going in like crazy on the heart line, like, it doesn't make sense, right? So just answer what they want, answer what they're there for, and then over time you could upgrade them and introduce them to everything else that we have. All right, but that's basically all I really wanted to stress, because I'm seeing it happen right now, and it still happens, as we heard. And I'm going to be honest, sometimes I slip into that too, where I'm like vomiting on people, right? So if you're brand new, or even if you're veteran, like, just be conscious of, what you're saying when you're getting people interested, right? And conscious of, like, what you're actually taking action on to create these leads, these people interested in your what we offer, right? And just be consistent with it. That's it, really. I see a few people on here that I know are doing the deal and posting or things like that, and it's super exciting. But does anybody have questions? Anybody want to share their personal experience with that? I know Alyssa shared. Thank you, Alyssa, for being honest, as far as, like, sometimes you still do that. One thing I want to mention is if you, whatever you are doing, to invite, right, you got the presentation, and then you have the follow-up, which is the last portion of it, which is super important. But I think a lot of times we think the follow-up only has to do with our clients, but you got to realize, in the invite, or when you're out there getting people interested, follow-up also has to do with you following up with people that showed interest, right? Like, people that showed interest, people that liked your photo, people that messaged you or have made a comment, or whatever it is. Like, you need to also follow up with them until you get them into the presentation, right? And so sometimes we'll post something and people will like our photos, right? And even comment on them, or comment on a recognition post, and we just leave it. We don't even go after that person. We don't even message that person and be like, hey, thank you so much for supporting so-and-so's journey. I'm sure he appreciates it, just like, and I appreciate it as their coach. If you're ever interested in anything, let me know so we can sit down and I can sample you some products and answer any questions. I'm using the same line. I'm just like, going after, like, you got to be conscious of stuff like that. Like, are we actively going after people that are showing interest, right? That liked a photo or whatever it is, and pursuing that, following up with them so that they actually become a person showing up to a presentation, right? So that's just another little tip. But if anybody wants to add anything or wants to ask anything, right now is the time.
So I think one of the biggest things that we get a little nervous about sometimes, right, is when someone asks us the price, right? And sometimes we do our best to avoid giving any type of price. I think Sylvester did a great job. Like, hey, everything, each program is designed for you. So we'll be able to get that when you sit down. But sometimes, like, these people are just like consistent. No, how much is it going to cost? What's it going to cost? All right. So I think one of the most powerful things you can let them know is that, well, I have programs from anywhere from $25 per month all the way up to $250 per month. Does that fit your budget? Right? Because at least you could get them the tea to give them some energy. So I've learned to use large ranges so that way people will at least sit down with me. So they may have an expectation of only, possibly only investing $50 per month. But when they see all the different areas and how much money we're going to save them, they decide to shift some of that money over into their program instead of spending it at Starbucks or eating out or something of that nature. So just a little tip that's helped me, because what I used to tell people was, oh, like a weight loss program is right around $225. And they're like, deuces, so, or a weight gain program. So really just want to give if they're like adamant about getting some type of number out of you, just let them know, hey, we have programs anywhere from $25 per month all the way up to $225 per month. It just depends on what you need and how fast you want to go. So I hope that helps.
I like that. That's really good. Is there anything specific, guys, that you guys might be going through, or like a question that's been asked that you don't know how to respond to? Right now would be the time to ask.
What about a client that just fell off the face of the earth, and I text her like my motivational text messages and everything, and she hasn't renewed her membership or anything. She hasn't responded. So, what do you guys recommend?
It's part of the business. A lot of people are going to come and go. Just keep them in the loop. I have plenty of people that I still text every Monday. They're part of my Monday morning text message. And it goes 6 months, it goes a year, sometimes 2 years. Obviously, I've been doing it almost 5 years. So there's just going to be people that fall off, and eventually they come around, but you can't focus on them. You got to focus on the ones that are actually showing up, the ones that are actually responding to you, listening to you, taking the products like you said. Like, that's who you got to focus on, right? And the ones that left, hey, when they're ready, they'll come back. You just keep that open communication with them. Let them know, hey, there's a new product. Hey, there's a fit camp happening or whatever. I want to invite you out. But, you can't really focus on chasing birds like Jim Rohn says. You can't leave the field to go chase the birds. You got to focus on the field still, right? And the seeds that you have still growing. So that's the biggest thing, actually, is I wouldn't necessarily worry too much about how to get clients back. Just when they're ready, they'll come around. Take care of the clients you do have. Keep them in the loop, but it's kind of just part of the business. Anybody else can add anything?
Yeah, we had a really cool training. It was October LDW actually, and one of the things that I can't even think of her name right now, a press team member out on the East Coast, she would make a funny Snapchat filter video for those people. And just kind of like be goofy, like, hey, I miss you. Like, where have you been? And I think one of the best things you could do is very similar to what Sylvester said earlier, is like, hey, like, they're people first, and just talk to them about people. You don't have to talk to them about Herbalife. Be like, hey, I just haven't heard from you in a while, and I miss you. I miss your presence. I miss hearing your voice. Just wanted to say hi. And even when they start talking, like, don't even talk to them about Herbalife. Talk to them about their family, their work, how they're doing. And then they're going to ask you and be like, well, I'm still doing great, staying really active. And then they're going to be like, oh man, I wish I could get back to being active. And then it's like, all right, well, what would it take for you to be active again? So just go back to that, like, hey, like, this is my friend. This is someone that became family to me, even if you didn't know them before Herbalife, and break the ice by doing something kind of silly. And if they still don't respond, no big deal. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what Sly says with the Monday messages. And 3, 4, 5, 6 years later, When they see that you still have amazing results, that you have a whole bunch of energy, that you're super successful with your business, they'll be like, hey, Ashley, like, I'm ready. And I couldn't tell you how many times I hear that out here in San Diego from like JJ and Lisa, where they go, man, like I haven't talked to this person since like my 3rd month in the business. And they messaged me just now and said, hey, JJ, I'm ready. And now that we're like Preds team members, you know, like super crazy stuff. So just don't lose contact with those people or don't write them off. It's nothing against you, right? They're just not as ready as possible. We still have to treat them as though we are their friends and we are their family. That's my answer.
Thanks, guys.
That's an awesome question. Thank you. We all go through that. Anybody else have something that, you know, they're going through, they need help with, or some guidance on, or tips? What about approaching new people by Isabel? Is this like new people on the streets, or is that kind of what I'm assuming you're talking about? You know, yeah, on the streets. Okay, cool. So it's pretty simple. Like, it depends on what you're going to talk to them about. Like, I personally work on the streets with inviting to my nutrition club, right? So I have invites, and I just, you know, walk around and I invite them to the club. I'm like, hey, come get a smoothie and tea with us, right? And I just present a flyer that way to them. So that's one way you could do it. I know there's people that do fit camp flyers. The button is you know, one of the best ways to meet people, on the streets. You know, and so I guess it really just comes down to if you're going to do an intentional invite, where you're going out there to intentionally invite people to whatever you're doing or what we're offering, or a situational invite where you happen to be, you know, checking out of a grocery store and the cashier is there, you know, and you want to talk to them real quick, right? And you got the button on and they ask you, or you just, you know, kind of nonchalantly invite them to what we do. Hey, do you like to work out? You know, come work out with us. Here's a flyer. Right. So there's all these different approaches. I think the best thing, though, is just making sure overall you're having an authentic conversation with them and kind of building a rapport with them, whether it's somebody at the grocery store with you. You know, Spencer's really good at this, complimenting somebody, whether it's, you know, at the gym or you know, whatever it is, if they're out and about, you know, and sparking up a convo to where you know, people know, like, hey, I'm a nice person and this is a cool person, and they're not gonna kill me, like, all right. So like, if they invite me to something, you feel comfortable with them, you know. So, but there's so many ways. You know, personally for me, I can answer is just with the nutrition club invite. That's how I go. I go invite to our club. Hey, come check us out. Get a free smoothie and tea with us, and I give a little flyer, and that's how I do my invites.
So I have a question because I'm out here in Hanford right now and I don't really have the nutrition club or anything. So I think like I can kind of second to what Isabel was saying as far as people on the streets. When I'm, you know, introducing myself or trying to share Herbalife, it's more of is that going to be more of like a sampling straight kind of thing, you know, because I don't really have anything for them to lead to, like a fit camp, or does that make sense? Like, how would you like approach that starting out, or even if you don't really have access to the club, depending on like hours of work and all of that?
Yeah, you know, for me, if you're gonna have to get really good at getting people's information. So this day and age now, like if you meet someone off on the street, right, and whether it's approaching somebody with a flyer, like, hey, you know, just opened up, I'm a health coach, you know, in the area, just opened up my business out here. And here's my information, right? And so you can leave people with that. If someone strikes up a conversation with you, you know, really narrow it, doing the button response with them. Okay, so like, oh, well, what do you do? It's like, oh, I help people with, you know, weight loss. Oh, you know, I want to lose some weight. How much do you want to lose? What have you tried before? Right? How did that work out for you? Like, great. Well, if I could show you a way to lose 20 pounds, you know, would you be interested? And then getting the number, right? Or nowadays you can do a social media. Hey, well, do you have Instagram? Like, I like to post a lot of, fitness and health related stuff on there. Let me follow you. We can follow each other, right? So usually that's like a non-threatening way also to get somebody's information, right? Is their social media account. So whether it's Instagram or Facebook, right? And now you have access to them, but more importantly, they see your lifestyle and who you are as a person, right? But one technique that we do is if someone asks me out on the street, you're like, oh, like, well, how do I lose weight? Boom, button response, right? And at the end, okay, well, if I could show you a way to lose your 20 pounds, without starving yourself, would you be interested? Right? And they say yes. Be like, great. Well, do you like free samples? And they're like, yeah. It's like, great. Let me get your number so we could sit down and sample you some stuff, and I'll answer all your questions. Do you live here in town? Is it 559? Right? And you kind of just say that area code or wherever you're from and just stay quiet. And normally people are inclined to say your number. So there's different things you could do to kind of get the person's contact info. But that's probably the best suggestion, Alyssa, is like making sure somehow, some way you get something from them that you could follow up with them later to lead to like that presentation. So either a social media account or even a number. Is really
awesome.
the way you're going to want to go. And you can meet them at your house, meet them at a Starbucks, or wherever you feel comfortable after that.
Okay, thank you so much. That really helped. I don't even know why I kind of forgot about that, about back like the health coach university right now. I was like, oh, okay, duh. Forgot about that. Okay, but thank you for sharing. I appreciate it.
No problem. Anybody else have any other tips?
Yeah, I want to add on to that. Of course, dude, I love talking to people. Okay, so sorry guys, but girls, we have it so easy. You guys, it is so easy. Like, I literally set a goal to talk to like 10 random people purposely every single day because I freaking love it. And I love to like kind of scare people and be like, excuse me, or like just like I said, I love to compliment people. For girls, I feel like it kind of comes off a little bit more natural, because we have that like carefree, bubbly energy. And I'll just walk up to someone. So like, for example, at the grocery store, and I'll be like, oh my God, I love your shoes. Where did you get them? And that's like a genuine, like, easy conversation. And so she's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Like, I got them here. And I'm like, oh my God, have I ever invited you to our free workouts? Like super easy. And she's like, no. Obviously they're like, no. So I either get a contact, or if they're like younger, I usually do Instagram, because they could see like our community, the environment out here. We do like the ladies workout, so it's really attractive to have like 50 women working out together. So I invite to that. For Alyssa, dude, make it up. Be like, oh, I have a nutrition club at my house. People come over all the time. Like, I make shakes for people all the time. I would totally do that.
I don't know. I'm weird about people coming to my house, but the hell with it. That's me stepping out of my comfort zone. But I would have never thought of that. So thank you.
Yeah, make it up, girl. Be like, people come over all the time. Like, it's totally normal.
You have a home office. Call it your home office, Alyssa.
My home office. There you go.
Tell them, bring a friend.
Right. I stay with my parents right now. They're gonna be like, who the hell are all these people in my house?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Thanks, Spencer. That I would have never thought, but that's easier, and it'd be in my own comfort. So that makes sense. Cool. Thank you.
Totally. Yeah. I definitely encourage you guys to get out and talk to people. Like, I used to be so scared. And I would hate when Mara would be like, go talk to that person. Like, that never works for me. I don't even know what I say, and I usually blow it when that happens. But I definitely encourage you guys to get out and talk to people, even if it's like start small, talk to like 2 people a day. You'll gain confidence, and it'll become more natural. And I mean, that's the name of the game.
Awesome, Spencer. Thank you. Hope this is helping everybody. Any other questions? Don't be shy. If not, then we are done. Few announcements. We have the well, right after this, actually, we have Spencer sharing. She's the guest speaker, guys, for the 8:30 p.m. Herbalife opportunity call tonight. So we don't want to miss that. It's a great opportunity for us to get any of our clients or even people that are interested in Herbalife in general, or even the business opportunity to get on that call. So they hear a bunch of testimonies from the product side and the business side. And then we're going to hear Spencer sharing her personal story right after that. So that call is awesome, guys. So if you have people interested that cannot make it to in-person meetings, get them on this call, right? 8:30 p.m. The Zoom ID we put in the group chat. If you need it, just text your upline and we'll get it to you. So that's right after this call at 8:30. And then this Saturday, if you're here in Fresno, we have the Success Saturday going down, which is going to be at 8:30 a.m. Off of Cedar and Dakota. It's going to be a distributor training at 8:30, and then the 10 a.m. Fit Camp, right, on this Saturday. So it's another great opportunity to invite to, right? So put into effect, put into practice what we talked about, right? We're going to post something, right, to promote something. If anybody likes it or comments on it, make sure you're reaching out to them. Make sure you're following up with them, right, and inviting them for that presentation that you posted about. But let's promote the heck out of that, guys. And at the end of this month, we got LDW. So I really hope people are starting to get ready for that. Right, I'm excited. A lot of us are going to San Francisco. People are going down to LA. Right. I know Lisa's on here. I'm pretty sure there's one in Phoenix, right, in Arizona somewhere. Look for your local one. If you're not here local with us, look for your local LDW. Okay. But those are a few of the things that are happening. And guys, Sunday nights, don't forget we have our leadership call, okay? So Sunday night at 8:30 p.m., we have our leadership call to kind of go over specific things that with the business. And if you're looking to get into that leadership role and have some higher level trainings, right, feel free to join us on those calls, guys. That's Sunday night at 8:30 p.m. But other than that, thanks for jumping on. I don't know if Mario, you want to add something else?
Yeah, really quick, guys. If you are a supervisor and you have some people that you're working with, you may have gotten your paycheck today. I got mine from Herbalife. All right, direct deposited. Guys, first investment, get your extravaganza ticket, $90. All right, I got my extravaganza and my Gen H party ticket is $114. I'm all set.
Nice.
Completely set. Paid for everything now for extravaganza. So make sure you guys are making that investment. If you also have to be a part of the promotion, right? The Lake House Getaway. Make sure you contribute to that. All right. So take care of the people out here that of what you need to get done first. Invest back into your business. Gen H is for sale already. Yes, it is. $24. $24. We get
you get cool gifts, really cool gifts.
Duffel bag, a hat,
limited edition
button, a hat, and a bottle. Man, you can't even get that for $24, and we get a party, right? So super exciting. Also for Sunday, we talked about it, and it's going to be a leadership/accountability call. All right, so we will be asking for your numbers. We're going to be asking for certain things. We want you to be a part of this call because it's going to help you grow. I love how Ari puts it. She used to be afraid of accountability. Now she realizes that she can only achieve because of accountability. All right, so that's what we really want to do. We want to help you grow, and let's go ahead and take on this weekend. Take on this challenge this weekend. We got Thursday, Friday to invite to Saturday. Make Saturday the biggest one yet. Okay? Get really excited about it. Be pumped up. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time. Don't go to a party by yourself. There's no sand at that beach. You got to bring all the sand possible. All right? So other than that, that's all I got. Looking forward to everything that's coming up, and see you.